I'm starting a clothing brand, and it's going to be so fucking sick. But first, let's rewind a little. Since sophomore year of college, I wanted to build something of my own. That itch, like the need to create, to own something from start to finish, has been with me for years. Of course, I'm not the only 24-year-old who dreams of running their own business. And it makes sense. When you're young, the risk to reward ratio is basically broken in your favor. You've got higher risk tolerance, more energy, fewer obligations. People are willing to bet not just on what you've done, but on who you're becoming. Potential carries weight. Failure is romanticized because there is growth through suffering and rarely any real world consequences. You get to bounce back, recalibrate, and try again. That is the magic of building in your 20s. There is so much in this world that excites you. It feels like every day you stumble across something new, a skill, an obsession, a weird idea you can't stop thinking about, and it grabs you by the collar, seductively whispering that you are the one meant to bring it alive. And when that moment hits, it's hard not to feel totally, stupidly, beautifully consumed. There are few moments in life where things appear with such clarity as this, and I say this as someone completely intoxicated by the moment. The main reason why I felt this pull toward entrepreneurship is because of how discouraged I felt at my full-time job. Back in 2019, I lucked out and fulfilled my parents' dream by getting into an Ivy League university. As someone lacking a strong calling, I studied computer science and economics, two of the most practical majors, and graduated in 2023 with a job offer from one of the biggest banks in the country. As an entry-level analyst, I earn $110,000 in base salary, and my managers and leadership make several times that amount. The job isn't easy, but it's not backbreaking either. I rarely work more than 50 hours a week, and my weekends are always free. And yet, I feel incredibly unfulfilled. David Foster Wallace once said, "I think that the ultimate way you and I get lucky is if you have some success early in life. You get to find out early it doesn't mean anything, which means you get to start early the work of figuring out what does mean something." I think that's where I am today. I've tasted conventional success, and now I know it's not what I'm after. A stable corporate future just doesn't excite me. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up around it. Neither of my parents worked in the corporate world. And while a job like mine promises a big house in the suburbs, private school for my kids, all that jazz, that sort of security doesn't motivate me. I never had those things growing up, and I don't see them as being necessary now for a happy life. What I do value is time, energy, and the potential of using both on something that matters. Your time and your energy are worth protecting. Personally, I want to spend my career striving to be the best. But after 2 years in corporate, I've realized I'll never thrive in that world for personal reasons. I have a visceral reaction to poor communication, fake professionalism, outdated systems, and environments where honesty is discouraged. And yet, I'm not discouraged about my future because I believe I have what it takes to build something real. I work hard, I adapt fast, I love learning, and I don't sugarcoat things. In response to this corporate dissatisfaction, I've tried a lot of things outside of my 9-to-5 job. I tried web design, I built a neural network for NBA betting, I made simple apps, I wrote and I podcasted. I studied dropshipping and Amazon FBA. I almost dropped everything to become a barista and open a cafe. I considered college essay coaching. I started a cooking newsletter, and none of them stuck because they were either too profit-driven, not creative enough, or just plain and simple, boring as hell. But through it all, I was learning, building a stack of skills outside of my job, earning the right to believe in myself. Then a few weeks ago on YouTube, I stumbled onto Daniel Dalen, and then Bruno Casanovas, and then Marcus Milione, and something finally clicked. I realized I want to start a clothing brand. Not just about clothes, but about brand as business. A brand that's about people, about energy, about taste. The problem is, I don't know how to build a brand or do social media marketing. But having fun, bringing people together through a common mission, amplifying meaningful voices and stories, I think I can be the best at that. Which brings us to today. Lately, I can't sleep. Not from anxiety, but excitement. Every night, I tell myself, slow, slow, slow. I've probably written that in my journal every morning for a week. I know patience is key. I know this kind of success doesn't happen overnight, but there's so much to build. There's so much to test, to explore, to share. I don't want to sleep. I'm excited to keep sharing as I build a life that excites me, to fully embrace this new challenge and purpose as a creative lead of a brand. And I hope you can tag along for our journey.